Hello relatives, welcome to this week's Schlag Bite for the week December 22nd, 2014, entitled My Christmas Story. I read this in the Sunday New York Times a couple of weeks ago, and it seems to me a good story for this season. 24 years ago, Debbie Maigrie was a stay-at-home mom who had gone out with friends for the first time since the birth of her second child, and was shot during a gang initiation in Tampa, Florida. Manuel was a 13-year-old boy when he fired wildly and repeatedly, and one bullet entered Debbie's mouth, ripping through her jaw and teeth. Manuel fits all the racial stereotypes of the black predator. He was born to a drug-addicted mother and an absent father. He'd been arrested 16 times by the time he was 13. Ian confessed to the shooting, and he was sentenced to life without parole. He was the youngest and smallest person in a men's prison, where he did not adjust well, with multiple solitary confinements and repeated suicide attempts. On his second Christmas in prison, he placed a collect call to Debbie Maigrie, who was still dealing with repeated painful surgeries. But in spite of her pain and anger, she accepted the charges. Ian told her that he was sorry, and when she asked him why he did it, he said it was a mistake. They kept in touch, even though her family thought she'd lost her mind, but Debbie felt that in addition to her suffering and anger, that he was just a kid. They've stayed in touch for decades, and when the Supreme Court threw out life without parole sentences for juveniles who had not committed murder, Debbie testified at his sentencing. She told him this boy never had a chance. He did a terrible thing, but you have to walk a mile in his shoes to see what he's been up against his whole life. She pleaded to the court for them to consider who and what this man has become. It didn't work. He was sentenced to 65 years. Manuel is now 37 years old. He's scheduled to be released in 2031. And Debbie Maigrie is the only family that he has in the world. I look at her as my angel of perpetual hope. She inspires my belief that we can transcend our scars and remind ourselves of our humanity. In this season of renewal and rebirth, I say to you all, my friends and relatives, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and New Year. My blessings to you. Remember, we are all connected. I say this for all my relations. Mitzakwiyasi.